So allow me to paint a very negative picture of the world economy at this juncture. In fact, there are about 6 characteristics of world economy at the moment, and we are well aware of the post-COVID complications, and of course the supply chain disruptions happened because of this post-COVID scenario. And third, of course, has been the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which brought distortions in the world economy. And this led to high inflation in many of the economies. However, India showed its resilience because we started with a very focused approach, and it was a deft management of the economy, if I can say so. And if you ask me at this juncture, where do we stand? I would say we have a good growth rate. We are at 7%. And as far as inflation is concerned, we have kept it at 6.9%. And if you compare it with the other developed countries and some of the developing countries, we are definitely a bright spot. Now, this was because of the fact that we were very clear about our vision. 26th May 2014, Honorable Prime Minister took over the reins of the country, and thereafter, Honorable Prime Minister and his entire team have been focusing on the growth of economy, and a whole of government approach has been adopted. And if you ask me how to describe the way the economy has been managed or the way manufacturing and export sector has been managed, I would definitely say that there is no myopic vision, no shortcuts, no quick fixes, no quick fix solutions to chronic issues, and no ad hocism. I think this is how I would describe all the efforts. And right now, in fact, a couple of initiatives have been taken which are extremely important. We have gone for liberalization in the taxation regime. That has been extremely important. Corporate tax has been reduced from 30% to 22% in the existing units and 15% for new manufacturing units. And I have with me a copy of the circular of the Commerce and Industry Ministry dated 7th December 2022 regarding the remission of duties and taxes on exported products. This has really helped. There are certain sectors like chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and articles of iron and steel where there has been remission of duties and taxes, which has really helped. Now, this coordinated approach, whole of government approach, and focus on holistic treatment of the manufacturing and export sector, about which I'm talking about, led to some very positive signs in the economy, like investment as a percentage of GDP was only 28% in 2016-17, and this went up to 31% in 22-23. Many of our opposition parties have been talking about high unemployment rate, but let me tell you that unemployment is just 7.2% in July to September quarter 22-23, which in itself is a big thing, because if you compare our unemployment rate with that of other countries, we are definitely much better off. So, and FDI also we are aware of. At one point of time, FDI was $14.5 billion worth. And now in 21-22, it went up to $83.6 billion FDI. Foreign direct investment happens when there is a conducive environment. And as far as exports is concerned, I'm extremely delighted to actually inform that our exports, merchandise and services exports, never kind of hovered around $300 billion. And there was a time only once we went up to $330 billion. But delighted to inform something which many of us are aware of. I would like to reiterate that merchandise and services exports went to $676 billion in 21-22, the highest. And this time, you'd be very happy to know that we have given ourselves a target of $750 billion this financial year. And I'm sure we are going to reach that the way if manufacturing and export sector is looking up. All sectoral exports have increased because of the right kind of policy of the government and very close monitoring of the Commerce and Industry Ministry. And I would say that, as I mentioned earlier, I would reiterate whole of government approach. There is a very good deal of coordinated effort by all the departments, and that is why things are moving in the right direction. Mobile phones exports, at one point of time we were very less, and now we are almost $5 billion worth mobile phones exports. This is very high. Agri exports also, agricultural products exports also, you see, this has also gone up. Marine products and electronic goods also, we are very happy about. So I think as far as the share of the share of India's percentage, of the total trade is concerned, as far as the World Trade Organization report is concerned, it has increased from 2.11% in 2020 to 2.24% in 2021. So I think this is something which shows that we, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, are walking the talk. And we are well aware of the fact that manufacturing and export sector is extremely important, and there has to be holistic treatment of this area. Whatever had not been taken into consideration, whatever segments of this particular sector before 26th May 2014 have been given thrust upon. And as I mentioned earlier, no shortcuts, no quick fixes to chronic issues, and no myopic vision. And that is how I describe present Prime Minister Modi's treatment of this entire sector. Before I conclude, I would also like to mention a particular area. This is the free trade agreement. In fact, we had gone for free trade agreement to get market access, both the countries, with Japan, SAARC countries, Korea, UAE, ASEAN countries, and Australia. And now, in fact, our Commerce and Industry Ministry, under the leadership of Prime Minister, is contemplating to go for FTA with UK, European Union, Canada, Eurasia, and some other countries. So I think if we gain market access, naturally there'd be a boom in the economy, and things would be. Of course, see, production-linked incentive scheme has been done in 14 sectors. And this is doing extremely well. This has been launched by Honorable Prime Minister with the intention of bring pace in the economy and bring up the manufacturing and export sector. Manufacturing as a percentage of GDP has hovered in the range of 15 to 16%, and this has to really go up. And that is why the PLI scheme has been brought in. And Honorable Prime Minister has always been talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat. In fact, Make in India is one of the major initiatives of Honorable Prime Minister and his team. And I'm delighted to talk about the National Single Window Clearance Scheme. The people who are into business should not be going from table to table, office to office, because it creates problems for them. I mean, it delays the entire process of establishing a business unit. So for that matter, the National Single Window Clearance Scheme was started by Honorable Prime Minister, and I'm very happy to inform you that about 44,000 plus clearances were given in record time. So basically, it is an example of ease of doing business, which we are trying to ensure. One district, one product. When we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat, this is extremely important, We try to promote indigenous products. There are about 700 plus districts in the country. So many of the districts came forward saying, this is our product. This we would like to push forward and let it get global access. Other countries also should get access to it. So there was a lot of thrust on identification of that one product in a particular district, which the district collectors did marvelously well. And thereafter, in fact, this one district, one product concept has been pushed by the government of Prime Minister Modi. Defense and aerospace manufacturing. Now, if you ask him about Atmanirbhar Bharat, in these two sectors, In fact, as far as defense weapons are concerned, I think a lot of work has been done through our indigenous units here. And as I told you, the FDI has gone up to $83.6 billion. And PM Gati Shakti plan also, I would like to mention here, has gone ahead in ensuring logistical efficiency. It's a question of anybody who is getting into this particular sector, manufacturing and export sector, whether that particular person is getting that facilitating environment or not. So government is trying to create a conducive environment, a facilitating environment, and government has adopted a pragmatic approach. So I think if you are in the shoes of a person who's trying to start a business, right? So he or she should not be facing any kind of hiccups here and there. It should be very easy for him or her. So that is the kind of environment that this government has been creating. And this effort of the government is getting reflected in the results, right? In the FDI, in the overall investment in the country, and the way exports are going up. So, and the way other countries are very eager to have trade agreements with us. So I think these are very good signs. And the best part is we are a bright spot because our inflation is 6.9% and our growth is almost 7%. And compare this with the other developed countries or some of the major developing countries, even in this time of Russia-Ukraine conflict or COVID pandemic aftermath, I think we are much better off. See, I would say that Gujarat is a very important state of the country, but Honorable Prime Minister is trying to go for all parts of the country, all 28 states and 8 union territories. So I think Gujarat is definitely has thrown up a governance model for the country. The kind of victory with thumping majority which the BJP could get in Gujarat is an indication of the fact that the governance model of Prime Minister Modi has been given a thumbs up by the people of Gujarat. So I think governance model of Gujarat is definitely to be adopted by other parts of the country and 2020-24, and that is why we are very confident that this governance model would be adopted by the country, by the other states of the country, and people would come up and vote for BJP, which can provide this model.